Most people who have never sold or bought a home before have the same fear about closing. They don't know what it is, they don't know what happens, and they don't know what they're supposed to bring. This video is the walkthrough nobody gave you. By the end of it, closing day is going to feel like an appointment you've already been to because in every important way you will have. I'm Josh Wernick, a realtor at Keller Williams Real Estate working in Bucks and Montgomery County. So let's go through exactly what happens at a Pennsylvania real estate closing. From the week before to the moment you walk out with either the check or the keys. Okay, here we go. First, in Pennsylvania, the closing is called a settlement. You hear the word settlement and it's used interchangeably with closing throughout a Pennsylvania transaction, but it means the exact same thing. This terminology matters because Pennsylvania closings happen at a title company, not at a law office or a bank or a courthouse. A licensed title company acts as the settlement agent and manages the entire process. Pennsylvania does not require an attorney to be present at closing the way that New Jersey does, but you can have one if you want to. Some sellers and buyers do, particularly on the more complex transactions, but it's not a legal requirement for you to have one in a standard residential sale in the state of Pennsylvania. The week before closing, what happens? The days leading up to settlement, the title company is conducting a title search. They are reviewing public records to confirm that the seller has clear ownership and that there aren't any liens or unpaid taxes or legal encumbrances that would cloud the title. This is also when the buyer's lender is completing their final underwriting and preparing the closing disclosure, which is the document that itemizes every cost in the transaction for the buyer. Your agent should be reviewing both the buyer's and seller's settlement statements during this period to confirm that all of the numbers are correct before you guys ever sit down. The buyer typically does a final walkthrough of the property about 24 to 48 hours before settlement. This is not an inspection. It's just a confirmation that the property is in the same condition as when the offer was accepted and that any agreed upon repairs were completed and the personal property that was supposed to stay is still there. As a seller, the house should be clean, empty of your belongings, and in the condition that you agreed to leave it. What to bring to settlement as a seller? First, you're going to need your government issued photo ID. This is mandatory. All sets of keys, garage door openers, mailbox keys, and any access codes that you have for the property. Any appliance manuals or warranties that you have for items that are staying with the home. If there's a homeowners association, any access cards or parking passes, your agent will advise you if you have anything specific to your transaction that's needed beyond the basics. What happens at the settlement table? Well, settlement is typically going to take 60 to 90 minutes for a standard residential transaction. You'll be in a conference room at the title company with the settlement agent. Typically, your agent is there and possibly the buyer and their agent as well. Here's what happens in order. The settlement agent is going to walk through the settlement statement, which is a detailed accounting of every dollar in the transaction, your sale price, the commission, the transfer tax, the title fees, the prorated property taxes, the payoff of your mortgage, any credits agreed upon during the transaction. As a seller, this is the document that tells you exactly what the check is that you're going to walk out with. Review every single line of it and ask about anything at all that doesn't look right. The seller then signs the deed. This is the document that legally transfers ownership of the property from you to the buyer. You'll also sign a transfer tax form, a smoke detector certification if it's required by your municipality, and several other documents your agent and the settlement agent will walk you through. Then the buyer is going to sign the mortgage documents. If the buyer is financing, this is where they sign their loan document with the lender's representative or through the title company. This is typically the longest part of the settlement for the buyer. The mortgage documents can be 150 pages or more. Funds are then dispersed. The buyer's lender wires the purchase funds to the title company's escrow account. The title company pays off your mortgage, pays the real estate commissions, pays the transfer taxes and title fees, and wires your net proceeds to your bank account. In Pennsylvania, this wire typically arrives the same day as settlement, usually within a few hours of the settlement concluding. One thing that most sellers don't know about Pennsylvania property taxes at closing is that Pennsylvania property taxes are paid in arrears, meaning you pay this year's taxes next year. At settlement, you will owe the buyer a prorated credit for the portion of the year that you occupied the property before the closing. Depending on when in the year you close and your municipality's tax calendar, this can range from a few $100s to several $1,000s coming off of your net proceeds. Your settlement statement will calculate this exactly. Just know that it's coming so that you're not surprised by it. After the settlement, what happens next? You made it. And once all the documents are signed and the funds are dispersed, the deed is recorded with the county courthouse either the same day or the following business day. Once recorded, the transfer is official and public record. Your mortgage is paid off and discharged. Your net proceeds arrive in your bank account. You hand over the keys. That's it. The transaction's complete. The entire process from the first showing to this moment has taken somewhere between 37 and 52 days for a typical Bucks or Montgomery County transaction. And now you know exactly what every one of those days was leading to. Congratulations. If you're approaching settlement on a Bucks or Montgomery County transaction and you have questions about what's on your settlement statement or what to expect, call me, text me at 267-934-5674. The full seller disclosure guide is in the description below. And if you haven't started yet, but you're thinking about listing, the link to what your home is worth is down there as well. Be sure to hit like and subscribe if you found this helpful. And for more information about my real estate services, visit sellrealestatepa.com. I'm Josh Wernick, and I'll see you on the next one.